Alright, let me be clear about one thing. I love movies. I'm always looking to find great films, whether like foreign or independent or even from Hollywood's golden era. Now, every now and then I'll try to watch a silent film or a black and white movie made before the year 1960. Now, oftentimes I'll think to myself, man, I'm glad I sat through this and I can appreciate its, place in history when taking into account when the film was made. But I don't know if I'd personally, call it great by my tastes. Of course, there's classics like Citizen Kane and 12 Angry Men, which, of course, can't be beat. You could probably even make a whole, separate list of recommendations for people in a different video. But if I had to pick one movie that's not just important, but still, I think, holds up even to this day, a film that's clever, humorous, and has tons of thrills, it'd have to be Universal's 1933 classic, The Invisible Man. We're introduced to Jack Griffin, a scientist who through chemical experimentation has turned himself invisible. Just in the opening scene of Griffin arriving at the inn is iconic. And I like how they don't spend too much time going through his whole backstory, but instead they put us right in the situation of the main character, where he's unsuccessfully trying to find a formula to make himself visible again. The director, James Whale, could have portrayed his character much more sympathetic, but he chose a different route where we see Griffin going maniacal while taking his frustrations out on the locals and terrorizing the village, which makes for a satisfying blend of horror and dark comedy. To me, that's what makes it so memorable. What we have to talk about is the special effects this movie uses. Now keep in mind, this was before the era of green screen, Photoshop, CGI, and AI. What you see here is 100% practical. When researching this movie, I found out that to achieve various shots, Claude Rains would be shot in a black velvet bodysuit in front of an all-dark background while only wearing certain articles of clothing. And then the footage was combined with the shots of other actors on the actual film sets. They also used wires to make certain objects move, and miniatures of a car crashing and the train derailing. Griffin hides in the home of his colleague, Dr. Arthur Kemp, forces him to become his partner.
A visible partner to help me in the little things. You're my partner, Kemp. We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there. Murders of great men, murders of little men, just to show we make no distinction. We might even wreck a train or two.
I just love how he's so nonchalant about, his whole, evil scheme. Just a few murders here and there, wreck a train. It's brilliant. But later, Kemp ends up calling the police, who at this point are aware of the Invisible Man's reign of terror.
No time now, but believe me, as surely as the moon will set and the sun will rise, I shall kill you tomorrow night. I shall kill you even if you hide in the deepest cave of the earth. At 10 o'clock tomorrow night, I shall kill you.
Just the conviction of his statement. It sounded more like a promise than a threat. Griffin escapes the police and goes on a killing spree where he throws two searchers off a cliff.
Would you like to keep him company?
Derails a train. And robs a bank.
In and out the eagle, that's the way the money goes. Up goes the weasel. Money, 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 money.
Man, this guy's out of control. I mean, how's he able to do all of this in one day? And then finally, he's still able to get past the cops and execute his revenge on Kemp.
Well, goodbye, Kemp. I always said you were a dirty little coward. You're a dirty, sneaking little rat as well.
Of course, the Invisible Man has to insult Kemp one last time before killing him. Or else it wouldn't be revenge, right? Claude Rains' performance is incredible. Even though you hardly see his face throughout the movie, his voice has so much command. Every time he makes a threat, an insult, or a sinister comment, you can just hear his distinct cadence.
Power, I said. Power to walk into the gold vaults of the nations, into the secrets of kings, into the Holy of Holies. Power to make multitudes run squealing in terror at the touch of my little invisible finger. Even the moon's frightened of me, frightened to death. The whole world's frightened to death.
This was the first feature film Rains starred in, and not only would he later go on to appear in Universal classics like The Wolfman and Phantom of the Opera, but also had Oscar-nominated supporting roles in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and Casablanca. As for the other characters, Gloria Stewart, who many people know from James Cameron's Titanic, does her best playing Jack's love interest, though by today's standards, the acting is pretty melodramatic. Una O'Connor plays the neurotic innkeeper's wife, and it feels like half of her lines are just this. Even the policemen are hard to take seriously.
What's all this?
What's all this? It sounds like I'm complaining, but the hokey tongue-in-cheek performances they really add to the charm of the film. That sounds crazy. The Invisible Man is a wild, fast-paced ride from start to finish. With a runtime of only an hour and 10 minutes, it's really not too much of an investment. I'd say give it a watch. You'll be really amazed at how a film that's almost a century old can just, really sneak up on you.
Here we go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May. Here we go gathering nuts in May on a cold and frosty morning. Whoops!
Before I end this video, I've got to give a shout out to YouTuber James Rolfe. He's mostly known for playing the angry video game nerd in his series where he reviews old games, but his movie reviews are all the more eye-opening. I'll post a link for his 2007 Cinemassacre's Monster Madness series, where he goes through the whole history of horror films. I remember watching these so much when I was younger, and I really learned so much about great films from so many different periods of time. Check him out if you like this. He's really going to take you back to the past.